first concept is simple vapor compression cycle. So this is the 5 basic components of simple vapor compression cycle. The flow diagram is shown in the figure, and there are total 5 components. First is evaporator, second is compressor, third is condenser, fifth is receiver, and then we are having expansion device. Now the application of refrigeration cycle is in refrigerators and air conditioners. And here, as we are well aware that refrigerators don't produce work output, but they consume the work. That is, work input is required here. And if you recall, over a simple Rankine cycle, if it was like this, and here the pumping was there, then heat addition, then expansion, and then condensation. So it was working in clockwise direction. Now if you see the number of points and the direction of working fluid here, then these are working in anti-clockwise direction. And here we are not getting work output, we need to provide work input, because we are going against the nature here. Now we will see that what is the meaning of that. First of all, let's focus here that initially we will begin with point number 1. Here we are having low pressure, low temperature vapor refrigerant. So this is in vapor form, which is at low pressure and low temperature, and refrigerant is the working fluid in VCR system. So here in this compressor, this vapor is being compressed and it becomes now high pressure, high temperature vapor refrigerant. High pressure, high temperature vapor refrigerant. So this is the work of compressor to take it from low pressure and temperature to high pressure and temperature. Then we are having condensation process. The condensation means there will be a phase change. That is, the vapor will get converted into liquid. And obviously, the meaning of condensation is that there will be a drop in temperature. So here the temperature, high temperature will get converted into low temperature. So if we see one by one, then here in compressor pressure is increased, and then here temperature is also getting increased in compressor part. Then we are having condenser, in which pressure remains same and the temperature T gets reduced, and here phase change happens. That is, in condenser we are going from vapor to liquid. So at the exit of condenser we are having liquid refrigerant. Then we will discuss about receiver later on, and then we are having expansion device where expansion will happen. So here in expansion the pressure will reduce, because expansion is ultimately pressure reducing process. So here pressure is reducing, temperature is low here, so it will remain same, temperature will not change, and it will remain liquid. Then evaporator. In evaporator, there will be vaporization of this liquid refrigerant. So here only phase change process will happen. That is, latent heat will be used here for evaporation. So pressure is same and temperature is also low, and we are having from a phase change from liquid to vapor. Okay. Now what is the ultimately what we are doing here? I have only explained you that what is going on in the cycle, but for what purpose it is going on, that let's see. Suppose we are having this evaporator here again. Okay, and let's say that we are required to cool water. So in refrigerator, our objective is to reduce the temperature of water. So here let's say that this is a pipeline or coils where we are having for water. That is for our purpose, which we need to cool down. So here what is happening, that let's say this is at 25 degrees Celsius and this is the exit is 5 degrees Celsius. So our objective is achieved here, that we are cooling it from 25 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. Now to reduce the temperature in this way, it is required that water should give up its heat. This water should give up its heat. So let me write down here, this is for water. And we are discussing evaporator part right now. So what happens, that here the liquid refrigerant is entering here at low pressure and low temperature, and it is converted into vapor. So there is a phase change from liquid to vapor, and this is for refrigerant. Let me write down, this is a refrigerant. Okay, so to get converted into liquid to refrigerant, it requires latent heat of vaporization, which will be taken from this water. So there is evaporator is nothing but one form of heat exchanger. So here this refrigerant is gaining the heat and this water is losing its heat. So our cooling purpose is achieved. Now let's discuss about various key components of simple VCR cycle. What I would suggest you here to draw this diagram in your notebook, that will be helpful in learning the remaining concepts in the upcoming slides. So you can pause this video and draw this figure. Okay. So now let's discuss various components of this cycle. First is compressor. The function of compressor is to remove vapor from the evaporator and increase its pressure and temperature up to it that can be condensed in the condenser. So here, if you recall, to take the vapor from the evaporator and then compress it to condenser pressure. So let me tell you one more thing here, that the entire cycle is functioning on two pressures. Here we will have condenser pressure and here we are having evaporator pressure. Okay, so the entire cycle is functioning on two pressures. The pressure of refrigerant coming out of the compressor should be such that the saturation temperature of vapor is higher than the temperature of cooling medium in the condenser, so that high pressure vapor can reject heat to the cooling medium in the condenser. So here in this figure, the temperature of refrigerant here must be greater than the temperature of cooling medium in condenser, because that is the necessary condition for transfer of heat in condenser. So this compressor, the refrigerant temperature at the end of compression should be sufficiently high so that it can reject the heat in condenser. Second is condenser part. Here the function of condenser is to facilitate a heat transfer surface through which the heat transfer takes place from the hot refrigerant vapor to the condensing medium. So there will be a heat rejection by hot refrigerant vapor to condensing medium. That will be generally a cooling water is there. The condenser consists of coils of pipe in which high pressure and high temperature vapor is condensed. Now the refrigerant passing through the condenser gives up its latent heat to surrounding condensing medium, which is normally air or water. So if you recall, here in condenser for refrigerant, from vapor it is getting converted into liquid. The pressure remains same, temperature gets decreased. Here in compressor, pressure is increased, temperature is increased, and it remains vapor. Our next, so in domestic refrigerator, the condensing medium is atmospheric air. Our next component is receiver, which is exactly after condenser. So the condensed liquid after coming out of condenser is stored in a vessel which is known as receiver, from where it is supplied to the evaporator through the expansion valve or refrigerant control valve. So this is just in between storage component. Next is expansion valve or device. Here the function of expansion valve is to meter proper amount of liquid refrigerant and reduces the pressure of liquid entering the evaporator. So here pressure is reduced, there is no much change in temperature and it remains liquid. Here the liquid will then vaporize in evaporator at desired low pressure and absorb the heat from the space to be cooled. That we will see in the evaporator component. And this expansion valve is also known as throttle valve or refrigerant control valve. Next is evaporator. Here we have already discussed evaporator separately, where we took example of cooling of water. So it provides a heat transfer surface from which the low temperature liquid refrigerant can absorb heat from the space and it vaporized. It consists of coils of pipe in which liquid refrigerant at low pressure and temperature. So here the liquid refrigerant absorbs the heat from the medium which is to be cooled. So here regarding this component, we have already discussed this portion where we discussed about evaporator, where here it is getting evaporated and it is consuming heat from this cooling medium. So now we will discuss about the TS diagram for this refrigeration cycle. So this will be our TS diagram. First process is isentropic compression by compressor to condenser pressure. So if you recall, I was telling you that the entire here first component we will take as compression. So here pressure is increased, temperature is increased, and it remains vapor. And if you see this graph, then it is isentropic compression because entropy is remaining constant. So here low pressure and low temperature vapor coming from evaporator enters the compressor. So here it is low pressure, low temperature vapor where it is getting compressed isentropically to condenser pressure. So it is coming up to a point where the pressure is condenser pressure. At point 1 it will be evaporator pressure, and at point 2 it will be a condenser pressure. At the end of compression, the vapor has high pressure and high temperature. So at point 1 we were having P was low and T was also low, and here it has been increased as P has increased and T has also increased here. Now the second process is isobaric heat rejection in condenser. So we are now discussing about second process that is in condenser. So here this is the isobaric heat rejection. Here, so isobaric means constant pressure. Here the high temperature, high pressure vapor coming from the compressor enters the condenser. So here at point 2 we are discussing now, it rejects heat to the cooling medium. The cooling is achieved using air or water. The condition of refrigerant, that is in saturated liquid form, here at point 3 at the exit, which is low pressure and high temperature. So here purely a phase change is happening in condensation process, and there is a reduction in temperature also, because this is desuperheating which is happening. So here the pressure is high and temperature is low. Next is adiabatic expansion through expansion valve. So now it is assumed here that there is an adiabatic expansion through expansion device. When we were studying about vapor power or gas power cycles, such kind of expansion was considered to be isentropic, but here in this case in refrigeration it will be considered as adiabatic process. And here the saturated liquid coming from the condenser passes through the expansion device, that is from process 3 to 4, where the pressure decreases from condenser pressure to evaporator pressure. So at point 4 now we are having P has reduced and T has reduced. The condition of refrigerant after throttling is low pressure and low temperature liquid. And we are now only left with the last process. So we have gone through process 1 to 2, that is over here. And now we are left with process 4 to 1. So last process is isothermal heat absorption in evaporator. So the liquid refrigerant coming from the expansion device enters into evaporator, where it absorbs the latent heat of evaporation from the space to be cooled. During this process, the refrigerant changes its state from liquid to vapor at constant low pressure. So here if we see the TS diagram here, then this is only a phase change process which is happening from process 4 to 1, and it is consuming heat from the medium which is to be cooled, that is in our example it was cooling water. And the same TS diagram now is shown in pH chart. Here process 4 to 1 will be isothermal as well as isobaric, and at the exit the refrigerant is normally dry saturated vapor or slightly superheated. So if we go back here, then here it is, in this figure it is dry saturated, and it is isobaric as well as isothermal, that is temperature and pressure are remaining constant throughout the evaporation process. And again this vapor enters the compressor and the cycle is being repeated. Now let's discuss about this pH diagram. Here first we will again begin at point number 1, and this is the compression process. So enthalpy is increasing and pressure is increasing. The entire condensation process is happening at constant pressure. So it is like this, enthalpy is being reduced because of heat rejection is happening in condenser. Then expansion process is adiabatic, and here in this expansion process the enthalpy will remain constant from 3 to 4, and then 4 to 1 is evaporation process, where the enthalpy is getting increased because of vaporization. So this is the pH diagram for the vapor compression cycle. And if you see carefully, the entire cycle is functioning only on two pressures. Now let's do analysis of this simple cycle. Here in this example we have considered that at the exit of evaporator the condition of vapor, condition of refrigerant is wet, that is it contains some liquid particles here. Otherwise in our previous case we were having it up to this saturation vapor line. So here it is having slightly more liquid particle. It is having liquid particles present over here. So the corresponding pH diagram is also there. So now let's do the analysis part. In this case, the other important thing is the condition of refrigerant is dry saturated at the end of compression. So if you see point number 2 we are discussing here on that statement. So this is dry saturated at the exit of compression. Now here let's discuss about the value of entropy first. So S1 value will be given by this formula, that SF1 plus X1 SF G1, that is wet before compression. Next is S2 is equal to SG2. So here dry saturated vapor after compression. That is over here, that it is why, because this is purely a dry saturated vapor here at the end of compression. Next is point number 3. That is S3 minus S3 is equal to SF3, that is saturated liquid after condensation. And fourth one is S4, that is for point number 4 here. The value of entropy is very similar to this, because both are in liquid plus vapor region here, point 1 and point 4. So S4 is equal to SF4 plus X4 SFG4. Now we need to calculate the dryness fraction X1 by equating the entropies at point 1 and point 2, because the entropy here is same. So in this way we can calculate the value of X1. Next is the value of enthalpies. So enthalpies will be very similar to these formulas. So we are not discussing right now because the symbol for entropy is simply replaced with symbol of enthalpy. The remaining things are as it is. Now, if we need to calculate the dryness fraction x4, that is at 0.4, we can equate the enthalpies at 0.3 and 0.4. That is, here the enthalpy remains constant. So here H3 is equal to H4. So we can equate this with this. That's why once we equate this, we can obtain the value of X4 here. So this is the analysis of simple cycle in which before compression it was wet, that the refrigerant was wet, and at the end of compression it is purely dry one. Now the compressor work is given by H2 minus H1, that is over here. This will be WC H2 minus H1. And refrigeration effect will be H1 minus H4. The refrigeration effect is given by this RE is equal to H1 minus H4. So we can calculate COP, which is ratio of refrigeration effect to compressor work. So this is the way we can calculate.